Hey guys, what is going on? This is Cardinal Bird 5. Today I have another player review, and we're going to be reviewing the rookie flashback Brian McCann for the Atlanta Braves. So right now in the game, guys, I believe Brian McCann is a top 3 catcher. I would honestly go Joe Mauer, and then, I don't know, I might even put him second. I just don't hit too great with Yachty, but Yachty's pretty good. I'd probably have to give Yachty the slight edge, and then Brian McCann. I also think Pablo Sandoval and Victor Martinez are close up there as well. But when you look at a card like Victor Martinez, for instance, even though he is a switch hitter, against lefties, I would still rather have McCann, even though Victor Martinez has the switch hitting advantage. I would rather go McCann. And taking a look at McCann's attributes here, he has 88 contact versus righties, 66 power versus righties. But against lefties, he actually has more power, a little bit less contact, but he does have 14 more power. And then you look at the, I think one of the key attributes for Brian McCann is his plate vision is at 90. So it doesn't matter if you're facing a lefty or righty, or if you're facing a really good pitcher. Brian McCann's always going to have a pretty decent PCI size. His fielding is no slouch either, 79 fielding. He has good arm strength, which I think is the most important attribute for a catcher. He also has 65 reaction, which is probably below average, and 70 blocking, which gets the job done. I think compared to a card like Victor Martinez, he's better defensively. Victor does have a little bit more blocking, but if you want to go all defense, obviously go Yachty. But if you're looking for kind of a poor man's Joe Mauer, and you want to save almost 150,000 stubs or whatever, go with McCann. He's super cheap. You get him for around 24,000 to 29,000, and he's a really cool card. And I like how they have him in packs now, so we can actually use cards like this. So anyways, yeah, definitely a cool card, and I'm gonna give you guys some tips and batting practice, and then we'll do some gameplay clips, so stay tuned. Alright guys, so I want to break this segment into 2 different parts, because I feel like you want to have 2 different approaches whether you're facing a righty or a lefty. We're going to start facing righty here with Max Scherzer in bat control and hitting practice. So I will say this, Brian McCann has 66 power against righties. He does have good plate vision and good contact, so, and I know if you guys watched my When to Power Swing video, this is kind of one where I'll make an exception. I think with 66 power and you have that good of plate vision and contact, even if the PCI, like right now, is probably borderline, I would exclusively power swing with Brian McCann at least until you get 2 strikes. And I would look to pull a lot of the pitches, because that's where you're going to generate the most power. And trust me, I've already had a lot of home runs early with Brian McCann. I've only used him for a few amount of games too. So he definitely has good power. I will say this though, whether you're facing a righty or a lefty with nobody on, you're going to have to account for that shift. It's there. You can either try to bunt against it, you can try to ignore it, however you want to. Against righties, it's not as difficult to go opposite field if you stay on the ball and go with it, especially if they're pitching your way. But against lefties, I wouldn't really recommend trying to beat that shift. I would just go up there and swing. Just be yourself, go up there and swing for power, and try to drive the ball. Don't worry too much about the shift. You'll beat the shift here and there without even realizing it. So I wouldn't go to your way to try to beat the shift. You can show a bunt, and I like to do this too. Sometimes I like to show bunt. I'm not necessarily trying to go up there to bunt, but I like to show bunt and tell my opponent, that I'm willing to bunt and try to get them out of the shift, and that might work for you guys as well. But anyways, back to facing Scherzer here. Pretty straightforward. I don't like to move my PCI anywhere. Maybe cheat a little inside, but for the most part, I leave it down the middle. I look to swing early, and I try to pull the pitches in McCann. We'll go ahead and show you a few more pitches. He's going to generate the most power, of course, when you pull it. If you want to go oppo, that's fine too. I'd still recommend power swinging, because it's kind of on the borderline there. You're not going to get many, no doubt home runs, or even home runs for that matter, just using normal swing unless you really square it up. So this is one guy I would try power swinging with. Next, we're going to get into hitting against lefties. So I will see you guys in a bit. Alright, so now we're facing Kershaw in pitching practice. And we're going to stick with bat control for the time being. Now, if you guys watch my lefty on lefty video, I kind of use this approach when I'm facing the lefty, obviously, with McCann. I like to start it inside and do like that. I like to try to pull the pitches for power. Again, he has 80 power against lefties, and a lot of people don't realize that, and they'll try to sneak fastballs in on the inner half, and that's your time to pull those pitches and hit them hard. Now, I would not recommend power swinging with Brian McCann lefty on lefty for a few reasons. One, he doesn't really need it since he already has 80 power, and if you pull it, you'll generate enough power anyways. And two, since it's lefty on lefty, and they're throwing you like sliders away, curveballs away, changeups away, it's really gonna make your PCI a lot smaller. That's, there's really no point to do that. I'm willing to take that risk against the righty, since I only have 66 power. But against the lefty, I'm not really willing to take that risk, unless of course your PCI is just huge. But most of the time, if people have lefties on their team in Diamond Dynasty, they have good per-nines, whether it's Kershaw, Sell, Andrew Miller, Zach Britton, all the lefty specialists and all the lefty starters, all those guys have good stuff. If you're facing like a flashback Mark Burley or a flashback Hamels or a Cliff Lee or a Lester, if they don't have great per-nines, then maybe consider power swinging. Otherwise, guys, make sure you watch my lefty on lefty hitting tutorial. That's what I like to do a lot of times when I can. Of course, this is back control, and they're going to pitch away. We're not going to try to pull it, but yeah, that's what we do. We try to pull it when we can. We try to hit bombs. That's pretty much straightforward. Now, if you haven't watched my lefty on lefty video, what I like to do is start my PCI middle in like this, and then try to pull it, just like that. And that's the type of power McCann has against lefties. So next, we're going to get into some gameplay clips and show you a few clips with me having success in McCann. So stay tuned. Alright, so I'm just going to show you guys a few clips of me throwing out some runners. I haven't had any problem with McCann defensively or throwing out guys. There he threw out Ichiro, and that was a pitch out. And this is a slide step, and I threw out Starling Marte. So I haven't had any problems at all defensively with McCann. There's been a few instances where balls getting by him. So I think blocking is really his only issue defensively, and it's not even that bad. It's better than Mauer. Now I'm going to show you guys how I drive the ball with McCann, just like I showed you guys in my batting practice. I pretty much start my PCI in the middle. I might move it here and there, but against the righty, I don't remember if that was a power swing or not, but I have been power swinging quite a bit against righties, and that one was off Nishek. Next, we are facing, this is actually against the new Flashback Lincecum, and he has amazing per-nines. He starts me off with a curveball there, and I don't know. Lincecum, I didn't find it to be too difficult, but my opponent threw me a fastball there. I knew Lincecum wasn't throwing really, really hard, so I was trying to stay back. I was kind of looking for a curveball or changeup, and again, I'm just starting my PCI in the middle. He throws me a nice changeup down and away there, so there's a 2-1 count, so I'm looking for something to drive, looking for something that's hanging. I'm going to start my PCI in the middle. I'll move it up a little bit. He threw me a hanging slider up and in. I just reacted and hit it out. Again, another power swing. I power swing a lot against the righties. Again, we're facing the same opponent, and again, he throws me a hanging breaking ball up and in, and I just drive it to right field for a double RBI. So McCann, I'm hitting for a lot of power with him, and a lot of it's just pulling the pitches. Again, another righty. This is another power swing, just clears the fence. And this is at Red Rock, so pretty deep right field. Another home run for McCann. Now, this is a lefty on lefty. This was against somebody's created player. Again, I start my PCI all the way in. And since his created player, he brought him off the bullpen, his per-nines are all messed up. He has no stamina, so in this instance, I probably would power swing. I think I did power swing because my PCI is so huge. But he gets to a 2-1 count, and I'm looking middle in, just something to drive here. And I get a fastball in the inner half, and I believe that is a grand slam. Yeah, so McCann can hit the lefties and righties. And finally, I got one more for you guys. This is again off a lefty. Start our PCI middle in. And we're looking for something to drive, and bam. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video and the review. This is Cardinal Bird 5 signing out. Peace.